We're here with Tom Carter. Tom, tell us what brings you out into in front of the Supreme Court today.
Leonard, who put the 6 Supreme Court Catholic justices who are going to be ruling on this on the court, was my boss for 3 years. Very dangerous man, and I don't think people really understand how corrupt and compromised the Supreme Court is.
Tell us about some of this corruption that you've seen.
Well, the obvious corruption is the money corruption that Senator Whitehouse and others talk about, where basically the Supreme Court is owned by the billionaires, the oil oligarchs, but very few people talk about the ideological corruption. Basically, these are all far-right Catholics who are not beholden to the conservative cause or Trump or anything like that. They're beholden to the Catholic Church and Thomas Aquinas, for that matter. Yesterday's ruling, there's never been a more Catholic ruling in the Supreme Court than what happened yesterday, where free speech gives you the right to torture LGBTQ kids. I mean, everybody talks about the evangelical Christian nationalists. It's the Catholic Christian nationalists with their hands on the levers of power.
And tell us about your shirt.
Trump is a pinchy pendejo, an effing asshole. Speaks for itself.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful song to open up Rad Pod and Not So Chill with High Fidelity. Thank you. I'm Heidi Kuda, and I'm with Jim Stewartson and High Fidelity, my co-host for Radicalized Truth Survives podcast. And on Friday nights, we are just sort of at the virtual bar, talking smack and playing highlights from our most recent episode. And you guys got a preview of what that conversation might be at the very beginning, where we heard from veteran reporter Tom Carter, a DC insider, particularly. He covered DC politics, primarily dealing with medical narratives most of his career. But at one point, he took a job working under a gentleman named Leonard, and he has spent the last 15 years trying to blow the whistle and get media to pay attention to how this man was staging a judicial coup with extremist Catholic judges to overthrow our democracy. And this is where we are today. Before we show clips, how are you guys feeling? What's going on? What's on your mind?
This is the stupidest timeline ever. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So we look at let's just go through some of the things that have happened lately. We have Kash Patel's girlfriend becoming a data scientist and outing Mike Flynn as a Russian asset.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then we had Kirsty Noem's husband getting outed as a bimbo fetishist.
Which wouldn't matter if she wasn't somebody pushing all these traditional values down our throat. That's just kind of...
it's the hypocrisy. It's not the cross-dressing. I could care less about the cross-dressing.
Me neither.
Except for the fact that his nipples look like Kash Patel's eyeballs. But
we have
aside from that, it's the hypocrisy of those people. It's a hypocrisy of those people that is the most offensive out of that whole scenario. And then we have like Ivan Raiklin and Dan Bongino going after it, and it's just one mess after the other. All this internal bullshit fighting, and that's what you get when you have sick management like this.
Yeah, so I just wanted to warn our viewers that normally we start off with one of Jim's rants and/or TED Talks, but because Hi-Fi's robo-tripping tonight, we started off with Hi-Fi. He's actually...
I took some Dayquil. I didn't take Robitussin. Dayquil's different. It just makes me a little weirder than normal.
Well, we all have been warned. Jim... so much going on. Thank you as always for all of your reporting. And Kash Patel may have more time to spend drinking beer and suing bloggers in coming days. What's happening there?
I don't fucking know. I mean, whatever. He'll get fired eventually because he's an incompetent dipshit. To me, it's nothing terribly surprising or interesting, really, with any of that. Like, MAGA, what's interesting about it is that MAGA is actually splintering, and the reason is because they all know Trump is a dead duck. I don't know if people saw, but Trump had the Justice Department issue a ruling that said it was unconstitutional to require that presidential records be kept after an administration.
Yeah.
You might ask yourself, why in the hell would he do that 3 years before the fact? Either way, look, the MAGA, the substrate under Trump is going away. He's all the way down to his 30%. Like, there's nothing left other than this core rock of cult members that will just literally, like, there was a poll by CNN that said 100% of MAGA, of self-reported MAGA, approves of the war.
That's weird.
95% of which would have said 3 months ago that would be a terrible idea because Donald Trump told us it would be a terrible idea.
Yeah, I know.
Years and years and years. But he's still got that, although that's starting to get very fucking shaky. He lost Alex Jones. Jones said he's over, he's done. Like, and the attempt, his speech the other day, I think, just put a bow on the fact that this has already been decided. I've been saying this for 3 weeks, that Donald Trump has been obsessed for 40 fucking years with getting Iran's oil. And he knows that this little island, this Karg Island, has 90% of the pipes. And he's been obsessed with just going and taking it. I mean, how hard can it be? It's a little island. You just go, you get the pipes, and then all of a sudden you have all of that oil. And today, his entire reaction to the fact that we're missing a pilot in action in Iranian territory is keep the oil, quote unquote. Literally, that's all he's got, because that was the whole idea to begin with. We have reached a situation where we've got an old man with no frontal lobes who takes input from these various layers of people that he's brought around him.
Right.
One of those layers is Pete Hegseth. Now, Pete Hegseth, we've talked about him ad nauseum, but he did something very, very serious, which is to fire 12 different generals, including the Army Chief of Staff. In the middle of a war, the Army Chief of Staff is the guy who says, okay, Army, this is what the civilian head of the military says. Now do it. He's the last guy. The last guy. Because, by the way, the Secretary of the Army, a guy named Dan Driscoll, is now fighting with Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, unfollowed him on Twitter. The defense secretary, the whatever the fuck it is, unfollowed his own army secretary on Twitter, fired his the 36-year veteran 4-star general who was the Army Chief of Staff, and replaced him with Christopher Leonard. Now, let me tell you about Christopher Leonard, shall I?
Yeah.
Christopher Leonard was on the phone call on January 6th with Charles Flynn and Ryan McCarthy and Walter Piott.
Yeah.
And what happened? What did he do? He spent the next 2 years making shit up. His whole role during January 6th was to construct a narrative about why they were delaying the call, why they were delaying the National Guard. That was his role, this particular guy. But his last job was to literally carry Pete Hegseth's fucking briefcase around. For the last 15 months, he's been his special little aide. He put his special little man who helped delay the National Guard in charge of the fucking army. The one guy who could say, wait a second, Mr. Secretary, maybe it's not such a good idea to nuke Tehran or whatever.
Right.
The last guy. Now, why do you do that in the middle of a war? Why do you do that in the middle of a war? You don't fucking do that in the middle of a war because of disagreement. You do that in the middle of a war because you plan on doing something that the military commanders, the sane ones left, would never let you do.
Right.
They're planning on it. And so we have got an entire administration that's ducking and covering, that's getting rid of everybody that even remotely has a problem with the I'm writing an article called Back to the Stone Age, because that's what Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth said they want to do to Iran. 90 fucking million people.
Yeah.
The Stone Age was the period where you had to bash on fucking rocks in order to have weapons to get food. They're trying to say out loud they're planning to destroy the oldest civilization on Earth. They said back to the Stone Age for a reason. And you know why? Because Persia is the only fucking civilization on Earth that was in the Stone Age.
Wow.
They are the only one. This is the most symbolic possible thing for Hegseth, for every one of these lunatic eschatologies, these apocalyptic belief systems that are trying to turn Jerusalem and Iran into the fucking second coming of pick your Messiah.
Wow.
Let's just fucking take a quick look at this, and nobody's listening to me, nobody's listening to us. But if there happened to be anybody left in the goddamn military, or any of the generals who just got fired or retired, fucking open your mouth.
Yeah, right.
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Our problem is that we're just at every turn letting it happen step by step.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much.
One of these days, one of you guys needs to fucking say the truth. Now, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, it's a good day for people to grow a spine for real. Like that is really, really important. You said, thank you, Jim. High Fidelity's had his finger up, so.
That finger's been that's been working. You've been working. I appreciate you holding on.
This bugs me. This bothers the shit out of me. I cannot believe I live in a timeline where I am enjoying anti-US government propaganda put out by the religious zealot government of Iran.
It's messed up.
I'm loving it. Iran's fucking killing it on the propaganda front. The little Lego movies, amazing.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
And I hate the fact I love it. And that's how fucked up our world is.
It is. But here's the reality that people really need to get. Yes, Iran is a terrorist fucking regime.
Yeah.
Guess what? America, you're living in one too.
Yeah. The reason that's
sorry, but if there was the most nauseating thing I've seen in a while, which is saying something, was Laura Trump on Fox News gushing about the fucking bridge, the largest civilian bridge in Iran, that Trump performatively exploded. Not only exploded, but double tapped.
Yeah.
So that an hour after they destroyed a civilian bridge in Iran to terrorize the population, they attacked the fucking rescue vehicles that were trying to save people. So, Iran, the thing that is amazing about this is Trump is a great equalizer. He has brought us down to the level of every fucking dictatorial, genocidal regime on planet Earth.
Right. War criminal, crimes against humanity. Wouldn't you call that an act of terrorism if you're not declaring a war? That's terrorism. It's exactly. And then of course the absolute duplicity in pointing the finger at religious zealots and then behaving like religious zealots. Like that is just shocking to me still. Yes.
I mean, you've seen Hegseth has Doug fucking Wilson in there, who literally calls for genocide, not to mention doesn't think women should vote and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a fascinating thing though that there was a Good Friday Passover prayer in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Except only for Protestants.
Yeah.
Catholics, you shit out of luck. Sorry. which is like a whole other thing. So we're going to hear from Tom, who's going to tell us all about the Supreme Court, which is 6 of 9, as he says, Catholic integralists.
Yeah.
People who think the Catholic Church and the government should be the same fucking thing. That's 6 of 9. But Pete Hegseth is a Christian Zionist and is a Protestant and thinks Catholics are actually like satanic or some shit. You guys, so this Abrahamic religion thing, right? Again, it's the same stupid book and 3 pieces of fan fiction that came out of it. 3 fan fiction. Ooh, I got a God, and I got a God, and I got a Messiah, and I got a Messiah. It all came out of the same fucking book. Stop it. Fuck. If you have to worship your sky gods, like, don't use them as a reason to kill each other.
That's right.
Dummies.
I think
my atheist blood is just boiling and all this stuff because people die for it.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And my Catholic, not extremist version is saying,
I love the Catholics. I love the Christians. I love y'all. Y'all are great.
I know. I'm just saying.
Don't kill each other.
I'm grateful for Pope Leo actually saying what he's been saying recently, and I have an article on that should be running in Byline tomorrow. But I'm grateful. It feels like an Easter miracle to me. High fidelity.
Well, Pope Leo for the fucking win, by the way. For real.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
For real.
Now,
if you're gonna have religion,
yes,
you're gonna have an intergenerational authoritarian cult that traumatizes kids and turns them into fucking zombies. At the very least, you better have a guy like Pope Leo at the top of that cult, because he's a human being, a real human being who is doing his best to take these ancient teachings, some of which make perfect fucking sense, by the way.
Yeah.
And trying to fold them into the actual reality that exists in the world, instead of Paula White or whatever, doing her
grifter. Elmer Grant.
She speaks in tongues, and she's got her whole alien language, and humming and the kitty cat and the whole thing. Like, what the
send her a check,
man?
Just come on, man, send her a check. She needs a check.
And I'll write something about this one of these days. It all comes out of the positive thinking dude that Trump's.
I'm
trying to. Blanking on his name, so I shouldn't have brought it up.
Somebody in the chat's going to tell us.
The pastor that they went to his church. The guy he did the wedding for Ivana and him.
Oh.
Anyway, it all comes from.
It almost came. It almost is there. It was almost there. It was almost there. It's going to come. I don't want to Google it. It's going to come to us.
Well.
Anti-vax stuff too during COVID.
Okay.
What's that?
Let me just jump in here, because people need to realize that all 3 religions are being weaponized by evil men, right? I mean, there are people who have taken every aspect of every religion.
Yeah.
You've got, the Opus Dei, Knights of Malta, Leonard, Leo, Father Arne Panula, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance freaks.
Yeah.
Who are like so far
Catholic,
but they're not Catholic. You got these evangelical nut jobs who, instead of taking care of the poor and tending to their flocks, are building mega churches and throwing musical numbers for Jesus, which I don't remember that in the Bible anywhere, right? You've got these hardcore Islamic dudes who are like, hey, we're going to use Islam to create terrorists so we can bomb the West, right? We're going to do a Hezbollah. We're going to do a Hamas. And oddly enough, who gets money from all of them? Why, Russia's giving Iran intel, Russia's giving Hamas and Hezbollah crypto. Okay, so the most Christian nation in the world, the defender of the West, who's holding back the gays and all that,
That's
whatever.
propaganda. That's propaganda.
It's all propaganda. It's all lies. You're getting played. You're a bunch of suckers, people. Look, there is good to be had in any religion, but when you allow it to control your life and make you hate, you fucked up. Anyway, sorry, moving on.
Oh my God, Robo tripping hi-fi. Tony Robbins.
Yeah, the date was kicking in. Wow.
Is that what you're talking about? Tony Robbins, is that who you're talking about?
No, Norman Vincent Peale.
Oh, that guy. Okay. I was thinking
who has this sort of reputation as, you know, power and positive thinking guy, but
that guy
has all kinds of shit.
He had a big influence on Donald Trump.
We'll get there.
Yeah. One thing I want to say to what Hi-Fi was just saying and what you were saying earlier, Jim, is Marcy Shore tells a story, and maybe we've heard it already, but I'll just retell it very quickly. She has a friend who was at The Hague from Croatia who was documenting war trials, and in 2016, Marcy Shore, who is a intellectual historian, was very, very worried because she had seen the worst coming when Trump came in 2016. And so she meets up with her friend from Croatia, and her friend from Croatia is like, don't worry, you have time. It took Milosevic a while to make us all hate each other and to tell us that we should kill each other. So it took him a while. You have a little bit of time. And to your point, High Fidelity, it's like this stuff is all ginned up. It is always corruption behind it. It was always greed behind it, and people just being manipulated. So on that note, I think we should go to our Washington, D.C. Leonard Leo lobbyist expert, Tom Carter.
Correspondent.
Yes, correspondent.
Our DC correspondent, Tom Carter.
Our DC correspondent, Tom.
Well, one of the things I hear in Washington from Christian nationalist experts, people who have written books, when they and I have discussions, I keep saying, why aren't you paying any attention to the Catholics? Oh, they're not as important. Evangelical Christian nationalists are the danger, and they are a danger. There's no doubt about that whatsoever, but it's where they are in the hierarchy that is of interest to me. Nobody's writing about the Catholics. And Trump broke Leonard Leo helped him place 3 Catholics, far-right Catholics, on the Supreme Court. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. When they ruled against him, I think it's Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett ruled against Trump on the tariffs, Trump went ballistic. He realized these are not my judges, they're Leonard Leo's judges. And Leo is also aligned, he's not just a Catholic activist, but he's also very much aligned with the oil libertarian oligarchs. And that's what this tariff fight was about. The Kochs and the other oligarchs were against the tariffs. Leo was part of the group that brought the case to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, in effect, had a choice. You can decide with Trump or you can decide with Leonard Leo. They went with Leonard Leo.
That's some hella stuff right there.
It's fucking depressing because like, yay, they voted against tariffs. Wait, they voted for fucking Leonard Leo.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They voted for conversion therapy, dude.
You remember when Trump went off on Leo recently? I don't know if y'all remember, just a couple months ago, it was like all of a sudden out of the blue, it was like, Leonard Leo sucks. Like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah. I called him a sleaze.
Tom Carter just explained it to you in very, very clear and precise. You know, and this rift between the Protestants and the Catholics is well, first of all, it's rift.
Yeah, right.
It's not a rift. It's a schism.
Yeah.
To put it precisely. but it it still apparently is a big part of the shenanigans that go around, and I'm going to be fascinated to see how all this plays out, given that Hegseth apparently hates the Catholics.
Yeah.
and he's he's the one going after this thing, and then you have people like Flynn, who's like, yeah, Pete Hegseth fired the woke generals, go get him, Hegsy.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Hegseth hates Catholics like Flynn. So again, with the just stop. It's just
stop, man.
It's pretend. They were sorry.
Ending with
I run out of logical room, because at a certain point I just run into this whole thing like, why are we having this fight? Why?
Let's go back to what Jeff Charlotte said on RadPod the first time he was on our show a few years back, where he was just like, these are really strange bedfellows. Like, these guys are going to like look at each other one day and be like, ugh, I don't like this person. And what Ruth C. May from Dallas, Texas, who did the very first important investigation on Russian money in the GOP back in the day, she said at some point the evil people turn inward and devour each other. And I wonder if there's some devouring going on. I do believe there's
Pam Bond.
I was going to say Bondi. Bondi, because
Pam Bondi has the opportunity to do the funniest fucking thing ever right now. Pam, if you're listening, do it. Just fucking do it. You know you want to.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here for forever and wait for Pam Bondi to see the light.
Yeah, I know it'll never happen, but goddamn, wouldn't it be like that? Would just be amazing.
I mean, let's review the candidates, shall we? Just briefly.
Yeah, let's not say we didn't, but yeah, go ahead.
We've got Lee Zeldin.
No.
Have you guys seen? Do you guys know Lee Zeldin? He's the crit. You look at him and he just
come on, man.
He makes you cringe looking at him. He's the weirdest. He's like Alex Acosta is what he reminds me. Which may but his only claim to fame so far is that he's making gas fumes great again at the EPA, which is a really weird transition from the EPA administrator to the fucking attorney general. And then we have
wasn't Alina Habba available?
Hold on. I'm going through. We have Janine Boxawine. We got to get to Janine Boxawine first.
Come on. Oh,
yes, she's a candidate.
Stop.
Janine Boxawine she's the DC attorney.
Well, he is lucky with Fox talent. He does seem.
And so, and then yes, also Alina Habba.
Oh, I was only joking. No.
What's that?
I was.
No, that's real. That's real. She's on the list, bro.
Oh no.
Oh no, she was in the White House this morning.
Oh
yeah,
no.
today.
Getting interviewed.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no. Oh,
absolutely.
How many laws will you break for me?
And the likeliest, in my view, is Eric Schmidt, the freak from Missouri, who is one of these Mike Davis guys. Like, I don't know if you know Mike Davis. He's like this, like hyper aggro, like white man who just wants to. He's like
it's kind of Hegseth-y.
Yes, like legal Hegseth. Exactly.
Ugh.
He wants to destroy. He doesn't want to just, he wants to destroy the Constitution entirely. Like, These guys are very, very scary. All of them.
Scary, very scary.
But it, you know, in a way, like Bondi, again, he's not putting the best people, even the best people on his team.
Yeah,
he's putting people in there who are going to be willing to do the most disgusting thing that can be done.
Destroy institutions. They're not there to shore anything up. They're there to absolutely take a sledgehammer to any institutions and protections that we've enjoyed in democracy. So seems to be a global contagion right now. On that happy note, I'd like to see more from Tom Carter.
Trump began referring to Leonard Leo as a sleazebag. He's not a good American. You know, there was a number of articles about how the MAGA administration is no longer associated or engaged with the Federalist Society or the bad people surrounding Leonard Leo, to which I say, poppycock. I mean, if you look at the people surrounding Trump, they are he is dominated in a lot of ways by MAGA Catholics, MAGA Leonard Leo Catholics. Now, that doesn't mean Caroline Leavitt, for example, who is a MAGA Catholic, talks to Leonard Leo and engages with him or gets instructions from Leonard Leo. But she is a MAGA Catholic on board with the Trump administration, Project 2025, and so on and so forth. If you look at the 16 people, 15 cabinet members and J.D. Vance, of them, you've got J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, RFK, who else?
Linda McMahon, Linda McMahon,
and a few others. Basically,
Tom Homan.
Tom Homan, that's an important one. Are all MAGA Catholics. Tom Homan is very much associated with the far right branch of the Catholic Church. A guy named a former Bishop Strickland. He's now just Mr. Strickland because Pope Francis removed his title. He's also associated with Vigano, who Francis excommunicated. So these are, you know, on the scale of things, these guys are way up to 11 on being MAGA Catholics.
Well, speaking of MAGA Catholics and Tom Homan, in October of 2024, Tom Homan had a fantastic event that he went to, in which a film was shown. And the film was Flynn's documentary, Mike Flynn's documentary, and the location was the Moonies gun cult that helped to organize January 6th. If you're not aware, Sean Moon, bullet head, he wears a crown of bullets. And another friend of Sean Moon is Edward Martin. Is a whole other can of worms. But Tom Homan is absolutely friends with all of those people. Flynn,
that's not good.
And the Moonies gun cult. So yes, Tom is no joke. A fucking, you know, psycho.
Who took the bribe?
But we knew that.
That would be Tom Homan. And here's the thing: if Tom Homan or Thumb or whatever the fuck his name is, if he really truly considers himself a religious man, a Catholic, a practicing Christian, there's only one real instance of bribery I can remember in the Bible, and that was when Judas took the 30 pieces of silver, and Tom Homan got $50,000 in a takeout bag. So.
No, I think Judas put the silver in a kava bag. I'm pretty sure that's if I recall
in the Bible. It's part of the origin story.
No, yes, that it was.
Oh my God,
Taqueria little known Taqueria
Oh my
scrolls
God.
of the Bible.
Wow, wow, wow. It's just so it's funny and terrible simultaneously. I would like to see another clip from Tom.
I come from a medical family.
You're muted, Boomer.
Catholics are interested in creating a global world order based on Catholicism. That's called Catholic integralism. And this is basically goes back 2,000 years. The Catholics ruled all government, everything, until the Protestant Reformation, and that heresy began. Well, the United States is a product of that heresy, separation of church and state. The king does not have immunity. Those sorts of things, which are very much Aquinas, Inquisition, Carl Schmitt, the Catholic Nazi who paved the way for Hitler. These are all things that are in that. And it's pretty amazing to me that no one, I'm not really qualified, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a theologian, I'm not a church historian, but somebody should be looking at the line between Aquinas thinking and natural law and the Roberts Court. Because back to who do these judges belong to? Well, they don't belong to Trump. Trump is just a useful idiot, a useful stooge, a doorway, somebody that Leo could use to place judges. Now those judges are in place. Leo doesn't need them anymore. And so he's pretty much left. I mean, he's still doing a lot politically here in Washington, D.C., but his latest venture is now on Amazon Prime. He has a brand new movie that you can watch. It's called Women of the Bible, The Faithful Women of the Bible, or something like that. Minnie Driver is the star. It's getting terrible reviews, but last night I was watching TV. Every 2 minutes, there was another advertisement for Minnie Driver and The Faithful. Leonard is not directly involved with that. It's his company, which is called Wonder Program or Wonder Platform. He's the funder behind it. And it's a big Catholic right-wing guy who came out of the Star Wars world who is doing this. The reviews are terrible. It's a clunky Bible thing. And the thing that cracks me up, it's all these faithful, inspiring women of the Bible. They're nice stories. I mean, these are stories that have been around for thousands of years, right? They're all white.
Yeah.
So it's the whitewashed Bible on Prime.
Are you saying there weren't a lot of Europeans in the Middle East at that time? Is that what you're telling me? You will be shocked to find out that there were not, in fact, that many Europeans in the Middle East when that whole thing was going on. Who knew?
Why that worries me is at one point somebody brought the Brinks truck, reversed it to Leonard Leo, Washington, D.C. extremist, Catholic, Opus adjacent lobbyist, and gave him like $1.62 billion or something. And so you think about how much power that wields. Okay, so they've got SCOTUS and, all the other, coups that have occurred along the way. But okay, so now it's going to be delivered, these messages delivered through prime time. Like, you remember when they were doing the QAnon film, Jim, and how little time it took us to realize where that money was coming from. And you went after it and exposed it, and it's so bad. And so they're just going to be doing all kinds of, radicalization in prime time. And like you said, these are stories.
Look at David Ellison and what I mean. They're absolutely doing that,
Right,
and it's all this weird sort of like Zionist mixture of shit that yes includes this Catholic perspective, but also like all of the sort of war aggrandizement that's been going on, and places like CBS and shit like that all that will absolutely get much worse. If Leonard Leo is making little Bible movies, I mean, I honestly, that it could be worse.
Maybe it'll be helpful to Jim Caviezel.
But the interesting thing for me about the Catholic connection is the overlap with the oligarchs, and it is not just the oil money. It is also the technology money, which is basically the new oil money, right? It's essentially the
brilliant.
same exact idea, and so we've got anyway a similar problem.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
I was waiting for it.
I am.
Peter Thiel is heavily involved with Opus Dei and Project 2025 and all of that stuff, and the avatar of the sort of convergence of those things is one demented, degenerating heartbeat away from the presidency. The little moron who was grown in a lab by Opus Dei and Peter Thiel to unfold from his cocoon as James Bowman to become the most insufferable, uncharismatic little dork on planet Earth, who nevertheless will almost certainly be president. There's almost no scenario I can imagine in which they can weekend at Bernie's this guy for 3 fucking years. And so, and by the way, where's JD?
He's writing a book. He's in the book.
You don't see him?
He's writing a book about Catholicism.
No.
And putting a Protestant church on the cover because that's
hold on.
Methodist, whatever.
So he's writing about his conversion to Catholicism with the $15 million that Peter Thiel gave him. But the book subtitle, according to Tom Carter, is All the Ways Trump is Right and Pope Leo is Wrong, which is not really the subtitle, but he's basically like, you can see that there's two very, very, very powerful Americans, the Chicago-born Pope and Donald Trump. And you can see and hear and listen to this Pope use very strong language, directly aimed at Trump and what is happening with this war. So I appreciated that subtitle. But where else is JD Vance?
I mean,
Where else is JD Vance?
He's going to Hungary to campaign for Orban.
I just don't let him visit Pope Leo, because he visited Pope Francis, and then 12 hours later, Pope Francis died.
He's going.
Pope Leo, do not touch JD Vance.
Don't touch JD Vance.
He's like a poison dart frog. Don't touch him.
JD, the D stands for polonium. I don't know if you knew that.
Two things. He's going as a special envoy.
It's a Cyrillic thing. The D and the P are the same in Cyrillic.
He's going as a special envoy for Vladimir to support Hungary. And I was thinking about how many of these.
This is the best thing for Fidesz, by the way.
Different characters have all these different names and identities, like George Santos, JD Vance, and the Luna chick, Svetlana.
Anna Paulina.
She had a whole bunch of names too. So there seems to be a pattern of these very deviant, weirdos who then end up, unfortunately, being financially, pumped into power. So, there we are. Anything else, gentlemen, before we see another clip from Tom, the final clip?
No, I think we got the final clip.
Yay.
I come from a medical family. I'm not a doctor, but as a reporter, I wrote about global health a lot. My father was a doctor, my grandfather was a doctor, my son's a doctor. Anyway, that sort of scientific way of looking at the world is important to me. And if you look at a whole list of infectious diseases, early days, they all present exactly the same way. Headache, sniffly, malaise, tiredness, and so on and so forth. So whether it's a common cold or Ebola, but Ebola is fatal. In the political world, the diagnosis of everybody saying, well, it's Pete Hegseth and the evangelicals, which again are important and should be understood and should be diagnosed. But they're not fatal, at least yet. They could become as they get more powerful. But right now, what is fatal is the MAGA Catholics. But at this stage in human history, I would argue that Donald Trump and Pope Leo are the two strongest Americans on the planet. And it's really, there's definitely a battle. I mean, there's definitely an ideological battle, and how it goes forward. I'm not Catholic, but I'm rooting for Pope Leo.
I'm rooting for Pope Leo, and I like, yeah.
Leo. I'm rooting for Pope.
Team Leo. That's us. Team Leo.
Except for not Leonard Leo. Really weird.
No. Team Pope Leo.
Yeah.
Team Pope Leo, please excommunicate Leonard Leo, because that would be hysterical. Anyway.
So in 2010, well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly, well, okay, we're going to have Gareth Gore on the show coming up to talk about his meeting with Pope Leo, which is still, I think, one of the most amazing things. The author of Opus was asked by the Pope to come to Rome and have a meeting with him, and he did, and that is just unbelievably cool. Yeah, so all in time for Easter weekend, talking about all this Pope stuff. And I always love how it's people who are non-believers who end up having to become the most hardcore religious experts because they see what's happening in their world. They're like, what's going on? Jim being one of them. It's like, you know more about the religions and how they're all intertwined and intermingled and, than probably most non-believers.
I mean, I've grown to, I respect religion as a consequence of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
As our brains got really good at perceiving the world, there was lots of stuff we didn't understand. We didn't even get it. Like, what the hell is this shiny fucking thing in the sky? That's got to be something more powerful than I am ever going to have anything to do with. So let's name it and make stories about it and stuff. Make perfect sense. And those stories have lived on in humanity for millennia, and that's part of our DNA. But what we're seeing now has nothing to do with any of that. It has nothing to do with any of these stories either.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now, and I'm biased because of what I focus on, but it is a psychological battle. Yeah. It's not an ideological battle even. It's a psychological battle between aberrant psychology, between people with no empathy, no ability to see others, see beyond themselves, and the rest of us who don't feel that way. And, I've talked about this many times, but we built a system where these people who are missing machinery, who are defective, and I'm going to say it like that, are given superpower, are suddenly these unleashed beings that can just sort of wade their way through society and fail up
Yeah.
Because they don't give a shit about anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
So it's this, it is this psychological battle between people like Hegseth and Trump, these narcissistic, like shrinky dink little psychologies that can't see beyond themselves, and the rest of us. And to me, I couldn't give a fuck what you believe in. I don't care at all. I love it. I love Catholics. I love Satan. I don't give a shit. Just leave me out of it.
Yeah, don't hurt other people.
If I ask you about you, like, feel free, put it on your Twitter page. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Go to a building somewhere and have ceremonies. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But don't put my kid or somebody else's kid in a goddamn airplane and have them go murder people overseas because of your fucking pretend stories left over from thousands of years ago.
Well,
we've got to separate the real world from our mythology. We need mythology. It's important. Narrative, stories. We can do all that stuff. We don't have to give up spirituality. We don't have to give up any of it. What we have to give up is the violence associated with it.
Which is what the Pope, back to Pope Leo, said, do not be using Jesus' name to go through wars. He didn't say it like that, but he said it.
No, he said it like that. No, he was very. I don't know if Jay is in there, but I've been watching Pope close, and he came out with it. He was like, what he said was, God doesn't listen to your prayers.
Yeah, I'm going to read the quote right here. This is our God, Jesus, King of Peace, who rejects war, whom no one can use to justify war. He does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them, saying, even though you make many prayers, I will not listen. Your hands are full of blood. That was powerful. But can I just, something I got to say, as somebody who goes to those places and prays all the time, it's an inside job. I don't have to wear a cross. That's my personal beliefs. I have a real bone to pick with Carolyn Levitt, who wears that cross, even though she does evil every day. I believe what she's doing is quite evil. And then when she's asked about the Pope Leo quote, she starts saying about, America was founded on these values. She basically is completely dismissive of the Pope. What kind of Catholic are you that you're going to be bad-mouthing your Pope, in fealty once again to this, what I think is a very evil fascist regime. So,
I mean, welcome to MAGA. You know about Steve Bannon, right?
Yes.
And I mean,
yes.
That whole fucking wing, hates like the real church. They think that it's woke and the dark. Mike Flynn calls it the dark church and the dark Pope.
God, oh my God!
And literally once the creepiest priest ever in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
We mentioned it before, Mr. Jose. It's Jose Maria Vigano. I think that's
Vigano. It was Vigano.
Well, I know it's Vigano. I'm trying to remember his first two names. He's got two names, and I already forgot him. And they want to put that guy. They want him to be Pope.
Well,
and Vigano, if in case you missed it, is the only Pope, as far as I know of, who or the only priest who is positively referred to by Q.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Q posted multiple letters.
Very worried about
Carlo. That's it. Carlo Maria Vigano. Maria Vigano. Declaring that Donald Trump is the defined one sent by God to save America from the Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know if you've seen this, but Vigano talks about Hillary Clinton and the Pizzagate and Hollywood pedophiles and all of this shit, you know, as if it were real. And the reason for that, by the way, is that he's a Russian. He's just a Russian.
I was really worried because there was some really fringe, creepy QAnon, people put up for the potential job, and I was completely worried. Was Vigano? I'm trying to remember which one lost his privileges.
He got excommunicated as fuck, and that is out. That is no. I don't even think Strickland got excommunicated. I think he got defrocked or some shit. But
yeah, he got defrocked. Vigano
got the full Monty. Like that doesn't happen much.
Talking about defrocking.
It's hard to get excommunicated from the Catholic Church. They like people in the church. So anyway.
So
we digress about the Vigano.
To Pope
Vigano. I think it's actually Vigano.
Oh, stop it! Oh my God!
Yeah, now I want to watch that Bugs Bunny and Elmer.
That's Ricolo. That's. So I think
now you're on Beethoven. How'd you get?
I don't know. It's Ricola, Beethoven.
Ricolo. I think that's our show before we start doing.
Apparently,
that's from the 70s.
We're
disassembling now. We're falling apart.
Is there anything I forgot to ask you guys? Anything that I left out, or anything else you want to say? Any plans that you have for Easter?
Actually, Jim, go ahead, and then I'll finish up.
What I know about Easter is that if I have to go and get my prescription, and candy is like really fucking cheap. So I'm gonna pick up some candy while I get my prescription. So that's my news for everyone.
That sounds fantastic.
If you were truly conservative,
that's what I'll be doing. That's what I'll be doing for Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Candy's cheap.
Next on Rad Pod, black jelly beans, good or evil? Anyway, no. If you were truly conservative like I am, you'd be celebrating the Feast of Oestra, because that is actually where that whole thing comes from. But anyway,
Feast of Oestra? Isn't that the stuff that gives you?
No, not Olestra. Oestra.
Don't.
Oestra. Oh my God. You people and your lack of knowledge of the polytheism and religious history, and
Jim, do not
learn the pantheon, you heathens. Anyway,
Olestra has the best warning of all time. We're
not going down that road, Jim.
It's so funny.
We're celebrating Persephone rising from Hades.
I love that.
We're not celebrating weight loss fails. Anyway,
no, it wasn't weight loss. It was
It was so you wouldn't absorb.
It was like
fat.
a sugar substitute.
No, it was an
and it was like, it will give you oily discharge.
Welcome to Rad Pod, where you can learn things about failed products and politics all at once. And all right, hold on. Let's just wrap up. There's a lot of things we didn't get to. I just want to kind of mention. Hey, in case anybody hasn't noticed, they're beating up on people trying to vote in Serbia, so that's all going to shit over there. Russia and the United States, the Axis powers, are attempting to help get Viktor Orban
we talked about that.
Over in Hungary. We talked about that a little bit.
We're hoping that JD Vance, so loathed all over the world, will not get him any
let's see. There's an massive internal battle in the Catholic Church. We talked about that. Welcome to World War III, the stupidest internet war. And you know what? Since we've been talking a lot of religion this evening, let's go out on it's a cover of a song by a guy named Smart, but just enjoy this.
Okay.
If Jesus Christ came back today like you threaten he will, which poor group of people do you think that he would kill? Who would Jesus choose to starve if you gave him the chance? If there was a genocide, would he take a neutral stance? Who would Jesus bomb? Tell me, who would Jesus bomb? Would it be kids in Palestine, or how about Vietnam? Would Jesus bomb the atheists, the Muslims, or the Jews? I want you to ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus say it's complicated, there's sinners on all sides? Would he say there's some people, well, they just deserve to die? If Christ the Savior rose again and on a sidewalk slept, would you extend a hand to him and just watch where you stepped? Who would Jesus bomb? Tell me, who would Jesus bomb? Would it be kids in Palestine, or how about Vietnam? Would Jesus bomb the atheists, the Muslims, or the Jews? I want you to ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus bomb the gay folks, the queer folks, or the trans? Would he suggest they end their lives according to God's plans? Would Jesus tell a homeless man to get a fucking job, or turn his back on the poor? Would Jesus be a snob? Who would Jesus bomb? Tell me, who would Jesus bomb? Would it be kids in Palestine, or how about Vietnam? Would Jesus bomb the atheists, the Muslims, or the Jews? I want you to ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus vote Republican, or would it be Democrat? Would he be chanting 4 more years? Wear a MAGA hat. Would Jesus run for president, or dictator, or worse? Would Jesus be the pastor of his own mega church? Would Jesus build a border wall? Would Jesus drive a tank? Would Jesus own an arsenal? Would Jesus run a bank? Would Jesus feel safe in his skin if he came to your town? Would you still believe in Jesus if you found out he was brown? Who would Jesus bomb? Tell me, who would Jesus bomb? Would it be kids in Palestine, or how about Vietnam? Would Jesus bomb the atheists, the Muslims, or the Jews? I want you to ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do? I want you to ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do?